When it comes to new fighting games, I always love to always try the new characters or characters that have come back and got revamped. But I especially love them in team games so I can still use some of my old characters with the new characters. And now in KOF 15, I have my original Bay, my new character Bay, and a Bay that I never used before, but now I'm glad that I saw her trailer, Elisabeth. As Betty, your job is to knock him in the air and keep him up there because, man, she is a juggling queen. And I love it. These combos are so fun to do. Now for positioning, she really doesn't do that much damage without meter. And then I wouldn't also call her a meter dumper. So I would usually just put her in the middle because she's really good with just 2 or 3 bars. But she really don't need 5 bars to excel. For her special move, she has a very situational projectile. Like for example, if you do the heavy version of it and they're standing right in front of you, the orb will go right past them. It only hurts when it stops where it's supposed to be at. So some of the best times is for once they're knocked down to throw it out for like a meaty. If you don't want to be close to them, if you're going against an opponent who loves to do DPs, you can just throw that out, bam. And especially against big opponents too. There's been many times where I fought big opponents where they'll run past me and hit me, but since the orb is out, the back of the head got smacked by it. But other than that, I really don't like it because you accidentally do it when they're in front of you, you can miss it. And again, you can easily miss it too. They could be standing perfectly right in between both of them, but there's a sweet spot where you cannot hit them with it. But you can always just use the EX, which is an actual projectile style one. But I really wouldn't waste my meter on that. She has this really quick overhead chopping move. It's pretty decent. The light version comes out fast. The heavy version comes out a little bit slower, but it counts as an overhead. So that's really good to mix people up with that. This move is usually going to be your ender. I find it funny that she has a reflect and a counter. And her reflect is really good. You can use it for juggling, and it's a really good anti-air. Now the counter, I thought that she was actually going to do like an actual counter, but she just slides to the side of you. The light version puts her directly behind you, while the heavy version puts her a space away from you. And at first I didn't really like the heavy one. I was like, I can't really punish them if I do that version. But then I see for people who are mashing like crouching punch, if you do the light version, they will automatically autocorrect and start hitting you again. So the heavy version has its benefits, but sadly it's not an instant counter. So if somebody's doing a meaty, you cannot use counter on wake up because they will hit you. Trust me, I've tried many times. It is not that fast. It does not come out that fast. The best time to use it is on a jump-in attack, but even then, they can easily go right into a crouching light, which will autocorrect and hit you. And now, for her best move, the Coupe the Vent. And I love it. This is basically her DP motion, but you don't really use it as a DP. Trust me, it's not an anti-air. You slide way too forward to time that perfectly against people who are jumping. You better off using your reflect as an anti-air. But man, this move right here is amazing. This is the move you're going to see a lot from her because it does so much juggling. You can go from the heavy one to the light one to the EX one. And if you're skilled enough, you can continue that with the reflector and then end it with the chop. And some better more timing and positioning, you can use supers. You're definitely going to see her doing this all the freaking time. And if you're using her, you better be using it all the freaking time. And I wouldn't really call the move safe, but if they do block it, they are pushed far away enough to where most characters, where they do their far version of their attack, if your opponent can't do a special move out of their far version of their attack, then you don't got really nothing to worry about. They can just hit you one time. For some characters who do have that, be careful against them. Some simple combos for her would be 3 crouching lights to her hand chop. Pretty simple. You can definitely confirm it with them 3 crouching lights. And then of course there's heavy punch, forward light punch to her DPs. And depending on how much meter you got, you can switch it up to some EX moves to cancel into some supers. But that's the main thing that you're going to be in the lab with, is trying to figure out which juggles are best for you. It takes a little bit of timing to land the hand chop because if you do it too early, they'll just land behind you. So if you're not too sure to time it, especially in a rank match, especially in an online match, use the reflector. It is way easier to catch the reflector than the hand chop. Betty is a great character. She has a reflect, a counter, easy juggles, a good overhead, but the problem is she has 0 wake up options. None of those moves come out fast enough. Even the EX versions don't come out fast enough to where she has to block or roll on wake up. And also her projectile is, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. All in all, I'll call her a mid-tier character. I really don't see the pros using her that much because her wake up options are bad. But at the end of the day, her combos are still pretty decent, so she's like right there in the middle about that. So when it comes to Elisabeth, always bet on Betty. Hey, it's Slick Tactics, and special thanks to Ignit, Rizzy, and Insavian. This channel is on its way to somewhere great thanks to this community's generosity. If you'd like to support what I do and make this channel even better, check out my Patreon. I have lots of goals and rewards in store, so stay tuned.